Welcome to Fabricville! May is denim month, so today I'm going to show you how to sew this dress using the Simplicity 8014 pattern in blue denim fabric. A simple piece but perfect for the season. To make it, we'll also need regular sewing thread, thicker denim thread, fusible interfacing, and 10 1.2 cm buttons. To start, I cut out the pattern pieces and transfer the pattern markings. I begin by stitching stay stitches along the neckline of the dress and the yoke pieces. Then I shape the front dots. I stitch them and press downward. I fold the front edges twice along the marked lines and press them. Then I baste them in place, leaving 15 cm free from the bottom. Now I prepare the front pocket. I fold the hem toward the right side, then fold the seam allowance up a second time. Next, I stitch the sides and bottom of the pocket 1.5 cm from the edges. Then I turn the hem to the right side and press. I also press the seam allowances inward along the stitching lines. I place the pocket on the front, matching the markings, and top stitch along the edges. For this, I put thick denim thread into the needle. Now, I create the gathers at the back. I stitch 2 parallel lines with long stitches between the markings without backstitching. Then I pull the gathering threads until the upper edge of the back matches the bottom of the back yoke. Next, I sew the back yoke to the back piece, right sides together. I can serge these seam allowances, but here I want to cut a second yoke piece for a neater finish. I place the right side of the second yoke piece against the wrong side of the dress back and pin along the edge. Then I stitch through all 3 layers. Moving on to the side of the dress, I pin the pockets right sides together along the markings on the front and back pieces. I stitch, then serge the pocket edges together with a side seam. I press the seam allowance toward the pocket and I place the front pieces of the dress on the back, right sides together, and pin the side seams around the pockets. I stitch, now I pin the shoulder edges to the outer yoke, the back, and the inner yoke together. This way, the edges are enclosed between the 2 yokes, ensuring a clean and sturdy finish. Now onto the collar. I apply fusible interfacing and press. Then I stack the collar pieces and stitch the outer edges together. I clip the corners and press. Then I top stitch the collar using denim thread. Then I mark the centers of the collar stands and pin the collar between the 2 collar stand pieces. I stitch, I press the allowance of 1 collar stand to the inside, then I pin the collar stand piece within folded seam allowance to the neckline, right sides together, I stitch, then fold the second collar stand over the seam, pin it, and top stitch from the right side. Now onto the sleeves, I serge sides, then I fold the sleeve right sides together and stitch. Then I press the seam open. I also press the hem up twice toward the inside. Then I top stitch 5 mm from the folded edge. Now I stitch gathering lines between the sleeve cap markings and gently pull the threads. I stitch the sleeve into the armhole and serge the seam. To make the hem, I first join the hem bands, which I previously interfaced. I press the seams open. Then pin the hem band right sides together along the bottom of the dress. I stitch, then press the seam allowances up toward the dress. Now I top stitch the hem band in place. Next, I will sew the buttonholes and attach the buttons following the pattern markings. Finally, let's make the sash. I sew the 2 sash pieces together at the center and press the seams open. I fold the piece in half, right sides together, and stitch, leaving an opening in the middle to turn it right side out. And our denim dress is finished. You can wear it in different ways, with or without the sash, and experiment with different button closures. Many denim fabrics are available in store and on our website. Happy sewing and see you soon!